What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy start to the week, by the way. I just want to get some things said right off the bat. So I will be streaming CBC today. So if you guys are watching video on upload day, you guys can drop by for some CBC live streaming. That will be happening when CBC starts. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the current High Elves summon pool that's going to go on right now until the end of the work week. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so here's the summon pool. Here the champion's up for grabs. There's going to be one particular spotlight champion here that is obviously going to be the most sought after. So let's take a look at her and go over the kit real quick. So the champion I'm talking about here is Fyna Blade of Aravia. So actually, prior to this event, I actually did not know what she actually does. She's one of the few, she's one of the two faction, like ally bonus champions that have been released so far. So the other one was Aislinn for the Bannerlords. So Fyna is for the High Elves. Let's go over real quick here. So her A1 attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of increasing a cooldown, a random skill on that target for 2 turns. We've been seeing these moves a little bit more frequently. Like for example, Ancora has a move something similar like this. Or is it a reset one? I forget if it's a team reset or if it's a enemy lockout. Anyways, we've been seeing a bit more of these types of moves. I believe Armand's has some variation of this move as well. Also has a little bit of an extra juicy bonus with the counterattack on her herself. So when she counterattacks, she teams up with a random ally. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of extra. She has an increased chance, debuff chance, so up to 70% chance of increasing the cooldown. It's okay, it's a decent A1. Her A2 places a block debuff, block damage, and a counterattack on target ally for 2 turns. On a 3-turn cooldown, if the target is not this champion, reset the cooldown of all the targets skilled. Now that's kind of cool if you want to protect like a squishy damage dealer and then give them an extra turn. That kind of works pretty okay. I don't see this being particularly like super useful in like arena, but for PvE it definitely can be okay. And her A3 3-turn cooldown again places increase attack, increase crit rate, and increase crit damage on all allies. 3-turn cooldown. That's a good amount of buffs for a 3-turn cooldown. Increase crit rate, increase crit damage, increase attack is very nice. But it's just like a buff, and you don't really get like an attack or anything like that. But here's where her faction specific bonuses come in. So if you have one faction champion with her, so like any other high elf, this move also gives an extra turn. If you have 2, the before placing the buffs, you cleanse your team. So now the move gets kind of ridiculous because and then you have, if you have 3 allies, then the buffs become protected or they cannot be removed. Not sure if there's a big difference, but now it's starting to get kind of crazy. But how often do you see full teams of high elves nowadays? I'll quickly jump into the faction and probably check out the viable champions there. But personally, I don't feel super excited about a faction boosting champion like Fyna. But let's keep going. Maybe her kit shows others other bonuses. So her passive, lead from the front whenever a buff is placed on ally, fill their turn meter by 3%. So obviously she places tons of buffs. So it's going to be a turn meter boost to the passive. And then she has, if it has 1 ally, allies deal 25% more damage when attacking out of their active turn. So something like ally attack, counter attack. What else? 2 allies, whenever a buff is removed or stolen or expires, fill the turn meter by 10%. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then 3 allies will ignore 5% of target's defense for each buff on them. Okay, so that's a good one. That's a big damage boost, right? The ignore defense. Personally, I don't see too much insane use cases for her. Let's hop over to the faction real quick, and then we're gonna have a quick look here. So high elves, So she's gonna be Fyna is gonna be here. So I mean, what would you really put her with? I mean, you could put her with like Lathro. I'm not too sure. Lanathro shares similar buffs, right? Crit damage here. I mean, you can put it with Elhain. Elhain deals some decent damage, but her damage is based off of debuffs, not necessarily buffs. But maybe in the future we'll see something else pop up for Fyna that makes her a little bit more enticing. Great base speed, okay base stats all around, just kind of all rounded, but her base speed is incredibly quick. All right, so that's going to be the prize. Fyna cannot be obtained any other way outside of these dedicated events. So this is one of the rare opportunities to get her. I believe this is the first opportunity to get her. And then we have Elenaro here. Elenaro has a pretty cool like kit. She has a poison explosion right here. And then her A1 actually doesn't require accuracy. So see, this debuff cannot be resisted, so her A1 always places HP burn. There's like some good use cases for her where she just like downs bosses with just her A1 because it can't be resisted. Tatora is the other champion here. He's actually quite a decent champion. He's the old fusion, Christmas fusion back in the day. But it's just not like a super sexy kit, you know what I mean? Like he has a really good 3-turn cooldown, block debuff, increased defense. That's great for a clan boss. He has a shield, perfect veil. You can use him for like Hydra for against the torment, the head of torment. It kind of works, kind of doesn't. Veil's just kind of not really reliable, but it's decent. And his A1 has a chance to drop accuracy, which can be used for things like Bommel, for example. Bommel has like insane accuracy. And then defense and Doom Tower. He's a decent champion. He has good base stats. He's defense based. Just not a super sexy kit. Lysandra here, the original speed manipulator. Super fast. Good speed in all battles. Super fast champion. I believe she's 110 base speed. Yeah, here she is. 110 base speed, good HP, good defense. Turn meter boost with the increased speed. And then she has a single target full deplete. She's really good for something like Dark Fae. Yeah, she can still work in some arena teams. I've seen her in even live arena where this full turn meter deplete is just like super annoying because it just controls your champions really good. And then she has this use case with her A1 where she transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. So for example, you could even use this against like Dragon, for example, where she gets poison and then she can transfer all the poisons back onto the dragon. So there's like some interesting use cases here for her. She's still a good champion, but not as insane as she once was. All right, so diving back into it, we got 6% chance to pull legendary, 94% chance to pull epic. Some of these epics are pretty okay, like Neldor's very strong for Fire Knight, for example. I believe you have 2 pieces of the Mikage fusion here if you're missing Mikage pieces. I don't have her fusion up anymore, so I don't remember, but I do recognize some of these champions here, and I believe they are for her fusion. Be her and Dahlia, and I think maybe him, Lethlin. I'm not 100% sure. Everybody else here is kind of like meh. Rogard's fine, Tyrell is fine. Like for Tyrell's fine for early game. But I mean, the epics here are just not very like, you know, interesting. 6% chance is basically the same as a non-boosted Sacred Shard, and for the price, it's not too bad if you're planning to buy. Like, they're not too bad in terms of like comparing themselves to like Sacred Shards, for example. But this pool is just kind of meh, and even Fyna, I'm not even like that excited about. She just seems kind of meh. Thinking like use cases for her, she's not going to be used in arena, so maybe some kind of PvE content in the future, or I'm not too sure right now. I can't really think of a way. If you guys can think of a way to use her a little bit more creatively, let me know in the comments below. As for active events that currently have the prism crystals, we're actually looking at the Sand Devil event. We got 40 here, which is actually a good amount since it only costs 25 to pull. This is pretty standard stuff. It's gonna take you about 2,000 energy with like a near team to get that. I mean, it's decent if you look at it like, oh, I'm getting a sacred shard or more than a sacred shard out of it. So it's actually decent in that way. We're also going to be getting prism crystals in the next artifact enhancement event. So probably expect to see something near the top. So, you know, obviously near the top of the end of the reward milestones, we'll probably get some prism crystals there. And that's going to be it. There's only going to be 2 events with these prism crystals. So if you're just if you're planning to not spend any money, so that's the only chance you have at getting more crystals. Personally, I think I'm just going to hard skip this event. So I'm going to pick, what's going to happen is that I'm going to get the crystals and then not collect them. So what you do is you achieve your milestone. Don't collect this. Let it go to your inbox, and then if it enters your inbox as this event is ending, if this event is already ended, then the crystals will come here without being pulled. So then you can save the crystals for the next pool, for example. Might not always work. I think this one, it might not work because the Sand Devil ends 2 days before this event ends, so it might not work, but it might work for the artifact enhancement event. So that's probably what I'll do. Try to save as many crystals as I can. Just not too interested in this. I mean, you have a 25% chance to get Fyna. Would I be super excited? Sure, because she's kind of exclusive, but in terms of like practically using her, I'm not super excited about that. Lastly, if you guys are pulling prism crystals, make sure you guys are pulling during the upcoming champion chase event that's coming at the end of the week. So you see it right here, champion chase. It's kind of weird that the high elf summon pool doesn't line up with the champion chase, even though the summoning pool says 4 days 18 hours. I think it should line up. Let me know in the comments below if you guys see anything different. But to me, 4 days 18 hours should put it in the champion chase. But that's one thing that I have to look out for. But yeah, something that you guys should consider if you guys are planning to pull from the prism crystal system. So anyways, guys, that's just a quick breakdown of the current high elf summon pool. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are planning to go for it or anything like that. Are you guys excited about Fyna? Do you guys see any good use cases for her? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.